David Eichel and Elliot Clough here from HawkeyeInsider.com, fresh off Iowa's 37-0 victory. Elliot, I think it's the first home shutout that Iowa has had against Wisconsin since 1929 in the series. 99th overall meeting. Just a flat-out dominant win from start to finish. I mean, I think we have to start with Mark Gronowski, though, and just the health of him, right?
We do. I think first things first, tough SOB.
Yeah.
Like to go through all this 2 weeks of rehab. Kurt Ferentz said he kind of wore out the trainers in the process. Just for him to go out here, and obviously looked like he was maybe a little gimpy, not 100%. I think some folks said 60%. I wouldn't say 60%.
I would go 80.
80 probably.
Roughly. But you could tell he second-guessed when he was thinking about running or not. I think of that play where Kirk said his heart was in his throat when he took off for that on that third down. I think it was around the same spot, too, on the same side of the field that the original one occurred on, too.
Didn't throw the ball particularly well, wasn't running it like he normally does, but having your starting quarterback, your first-string guy back there is huge in every facet. Obviously, the tush-push, they've kind of perfected that and done it quite a few times already this season.
Yep.
But I think he was in the game a little too long, to tell you the truth.
I do too.
You don't want to come away from a 37-0 victory and complain, but I do think he was in the game a little bit too
I think
long.
everybody else was saying the same thing,
exactly.
too.
But all things considered, lack of health. Obviously, there was the pick on the sideline, but, Tim Lester going for the kill shot, he kind of tends to do that.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, you have to be happy with the performance overall. I don't know the stats right off the top of my head. Probably could have been better. He would have been more of a factor in the run game if he was 100% healthy.
Yes.
But the run game was damn good tonight.
I mean, Kamari Moulton's taking his game to a completely different level, right?
Yeah.
I mean, nobody's going to be Caleb Johnson, right? He put up arguably the best single-season rushing in Iowa history. Right, Sean Green's probably the one that, rivals it. Yep. But Caleb did score in all 12 games. Anyway, no, Kamari was tremendous. I mean, you could tell, and you asked him post-game, like, he runs with a different sense of physicality. Not that he ever lacked physicality. He's much more showboaty about it. He's willing to kind of just run through a dude's face at this point, right? And then Xavier Williams, fresh off the injury, 2 touchdowns, had a 29-yarder and a 19-yarder. He had that one jump cut and that breakaway on that 29-yarder where I looked at you and I'm like, I don't think I've seen him run that fast. I did not know he had that in his toolkit.
And I don't know that I looked at you at this point in time because the game was out of hand, but that 19-yard rush, broke a tackle, keeps his balance. That's Sean Green-esque.
Yeah.
Speaking of Sean Green, his ability to stay balanced, to fight through contact, to stay patient, the little taps of the feet between when he's waiting to hit a hole. I mean, like, the way he compliments Kamari, the way he compliments Nathan McNeil, who had a 24-yard rush tonight on his first carry. The run game, and need I mind you, if you haven't seen the stat, I put it up, I think, at halftime. Wisconsin was 6th in the country in rushing defense in terms of yards going into this game. Only allowed 75 yards per game, only allowed 4 touchdowns total until tonight, and then they allowed 4 tonight.
The other part is, too, I mean, they've played against good competition.
Yeah.
So it's not like they stack their numbers, right?
Right.
I mean, you think about Michigan, you think about Alabama.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a totally deflating loss for Wisconsin. I mean, but like Iowa at times has been a little bit slow coming out of bye weeks.
Yep. Not tonight.
Credit them. I mean, this was their most complete win. I know you want the passing game to be farther along.
Yep.
I don't disagree. But you get 3 turnovers. Aaron Graves, and Kirk joked, and I thought he was kind of right. You can't call a guy of his size out at the 1-yard line. No. Personally, I thought he got in. I do need to see the replay. Bryce Hawthorne made a tremendous diving grab. His first pick in his football career, not college, like going back in his life.
Middle school,
Special teams is okay.
Yeah.
Drew Stevens had a nice bounce back game, but like you can win a game with the way Iowa played special teams, right? Yep. So I think when you look at coming out of a bye week, all 3 phases were at least efficient, and Iowa took advantage of opportunities. Like they won 37-0. And it feels like they should have won 50-0, 51-0. Seriously, like they had opportunities.
You said this in the middle of the game. Wisconsin looked like the worst team that Iowa had played so far this year. And you have to give credit to Iowa. Iowa did a lot of really good things. Hunter Simmons really struggled. I don't think Iowa got a sack, but you could tell he was uncomfortable.
He was rattled all day.
2 picks. They effectively had 3 picks because the one was behind the line of scrimmage that Zach Lupton recovered as a lateral. But we can't just gloss over those picks, right? We got to talk about them a little bit more. Aaron Graves read that like a book. I thought he scored. Aaron thought he scored. Kirk thought he scored. Like you said, Bryce Hawthorne lays out for that pick. Brian Allen with the tip, the assist as well.
Yep.
just really executing every which way that probably Kelvin Bell and Jay Neiman want them to. Of course, you want to come away with a sack. I don't know that they even had a tackle for loss, the defensive line. Those
I would need to double check that too. But you're right. The other thing is though too. I mean, I think Bryce Hawthorne said they work on those tip drills at least once a week, and the fact that the defensive lineman had the awareness and the presence of mind and the athleticism. Like, keep in mind, Bryce Hawthorne, we've been hearing behind the scenes, like, this is a freak athlete.
Yep.
He certainly showcased that during that diving interception.
Yeah, he did.
But again, like, my thing is this, and you're right. I did say Wisconsin looks like the worst team that Iowa played, but from a game-by-game standpoint, not like a totality of the team.
Right.
But again, you have to credit Iowa for forcing all this, because right from the get-go, Wisconsin was riled. Everybody stayed for jump around. The Iowa players were jumping around the sidelines, and then it was unbelievable how quickly the students and everyone. My thing is, how do the students get out that quick, and it takes them that long to get in?
Right. Well, I mean, honestly, they said it was a sellout.
It was not a sellout.
I mean, they might have sold all the tickets, but all the seats weren't full.
It's a Nebraska sellout.
Exactly. Also a situation where a player tried to stand in front of the swarm. Basically the entirety of the team ran off the field, did not shake hands. So not a great situation right now in Madison in a lot of ways. This program is struggling. We heard fire Fickle multiple occasions tonight. They're now winless against Power 4 teams. They haven't beaten a Power 4 team since October of last year.
It might go farther than that based on their schedule and based on how bad they look today.
Is in a bad way right now. Quite a buyout for Luke Fickle, but we'll see how it all shakes out.
I think the last thing we need to mention here, again, we're going to have a lot more coverage at HawkeyeInsider.com and everything else. Jeremy Hecklinski getting the 2 snaps at quarterback.
Yep.
Kirk said before you make a big deal out of it, him and Hank Brown are going neck to neck, and it's going to be kind of a week-by-week thing. But I still think it's noteworthy for Hecklinski. We've been hearing behind the scenes, like, it's very apparent they really like where the room's at.
Yep.
And again, I don't want to overreact to Hank Brown's performance against Indiana. I certainly think it's noteworthy, but I also think it says more about Hecklinski than it does Hank Brown. The fact that he was elevated to quarterback too.
All we hear is he's got a little something to him, and Iowa hasn't had a quarterback with a little something to him like him since probably Drew Tate. So something that Kirk Ferentz has mentioned before is the way he plays.
Yeah. So again, we're going to have a podcast tomorrow morning. I'm going to make the drive back tonight. Elliot's going to be smart and not. But, nobody's surprised by that.
Yeah, right.
But again, we're going to have a lot more coverage at HawkeyeInsider.com. For David Eichel, Elliot Clough, we'll talk soon.